You know that feeling when you check your bank account and, for once, you don't immediately close the app in horror? When you realize you can buy groceries without doing mental gymnastics, or you stop worrying that a flat tire will send you into a panic spiral? There's a number where that shift happens, and it's not what most people think. Most financial gurus will tell you that you need $1 million to feel secure, or that six figures is the magic number. But here's what they're missing. There's a much smaller milestone that quietly transforms your relationship with money. And once you hit it, everything changes. That number is $10,000. Welcome to She Invests. Today, I'm going to show you why banks secretly fear people with $10,000 saved, how hitting this milestone flips the script on your entire financial life, and how you can get there faster than you think, even if you're starting from zero. Let's start with a story. Picture this. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Every month, you're juggling bills, hoping nothing unexpected pops up. Your bank account hovers just above zero, and every time you get paid, it feels like the money is already gone. Sound familiar? For most Americans, this isn't just a story. It's reality. In fact, nearly 60% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. That means one flat tire, one medical bill, or one missed paycheck can turn into a full-blown crisis. But here's the part nobody tells you. There's a threshold where everything changes. A number where emergencies become inconveniences, not disasters. Where you finally have room to breathe, to plan, and to make decisions from a place of strength, not fear. That number is $10,000. Not $100,000, not $1 million. Just $10,000 sitting in a savings account changes almost everything about your financial life. Let's break down why. First, $10,000 is about 2 to 3 months of expenses for most people in the US. That's a real emergency fund, not the $1,000 starter fund you hear about on talk shows. With $10,000, you can handle almost any single emergency without going into debt. Car breaks down, handled. Job loss, you have months to find something new. Medical surprise, stressful but manageable. You stop living in constant fear. That low-level anxiety that's always running in the background finally quiets down. You can actually sleep at night. But here's where it gets really interesting. When you cross $10,000, you become unprofitable for your bank. And they really don't like that. Let's talk about how banks actually make money on regular people. The first way is overdraft fees. If you've never had one, here's how it works. Let's say you swipe your debit card, but you don't have enough money in your account to cover the purchase. Instead of just declining the transaction, the bank covers it for you, but then charges you a fee, often $35 or more, for the favor. It's like getting charged a penalty for being broke. And if you have several payments hit at once, you can rack up multiple fees in a single day. Banks made over $7 billion in overdraft fees last year, almost all of it from people who were already struggling. The second way banks profit is through desperation products. These are things like payday loans, which are short-term loans with sky-high interest rates, sometimes 400% or more, or title loans, where you hand over your car title as collateral, or personal loans with double-digit interest rates. And of course, credit cards with 29% APR. These products are designed for people who need money fast and don't have savings. The bank knows you're desperate, so they can charge whatever they want. The third way is credit card interest. If you carry a balance on your credit card, meaning you don't pay it off in full every month, the bank charges you interest, often 20% or more. That's money you pay just for the privilege of owing them money. The average American with credit card debt pays over $1,000 a year in interest. And here's a fun fact. The credit card industry actually calls people who pay their balance in full every month deadbeats. Why? Because you're not making them any money. The fourth way is account fees. Some banks charge you a monthly maintenance fee just to keep your checking account open, unless you keep a certain minimum balance, like $1,500 or $5,000. If your balance drops below that, you get hit with a $12 or $15 fee. It's like paying rent just to store your own money. But with $10,000 in savings, you never have to worry about these fees again. But the biggest profit source for banks is emotional decisions. This one's psychological, but it's real. When you're financially stressed, you make bad decisions. You buy things impulsively because you need a dopamine hit. You take bad deals because you don't have time to shop around. You say yes to high-interest financing because you need the thing now. Stressed people are profitable people. They're easier to upsell, easier to pressure, easier to squeeze. But when you have $10,000, you make decisions calmly. You can walk away from bad deals. You can wait for sales. You can negotiate. That financial cushion doesn't just protect you from emergencies. It protects you from your own stress responses. It gives you the mental space to think clearly about money. Let's pause and think about this together. What would your life look like if you had $10,000 in the bank right now? Would you sleep better? Would you feel less anxious at work? Would you finally be able to say no to things that drain you and yes to things that matter? That's the power of this milestone. It's not just about the money. It's about the freedom, the confidence, and the leverage it gives you. Here's the part that's really interesting. When you cross $10,000, you start operating from abundance, not scarcity. Below that number, you're always in survival mode. Every decision is about getting through the week, the month, the next crisis. Above $10,000, you start thinking long term. You can take a lower paying job with better growth potential. You can walk away from a toxic workplace. You can negotiate harder because you don't need this deal right now. Every opportunity changes when you have options, and $10,000 gives you options. Let's talk about leverage. When you're broke, everyone has leverage over you. Your boss, your landlord, your bank. When you have $20,000, you have leverage over them. You can walk away from a bad job. You can move if your landlord raises the rent. You can shop around for better deals. You're not trapped. You're in control. Here's a real example. Let's say your boss is treating you terribly. You know you should leave, but you're living paycheck to paycheck. With $0 in savings, you're trapped. You have to take the abuse because you can't afford even one missed paycheck. Your boss knows this. They can treat you however they want. With $10,000 in savings, you can walk today if you need to. You have months of runway to find something better. Your boss's power over you just evaporated. Same job, same terrible boss, completely different dynamic because you have a cushion. This applies to everything: car buying, apartment hunting, salary negotiations, business opportunities. When you're broke, everyone has leverage over you. When you have $10,000, you have leverage over them. So, how do you actually get to $10,000? I know it sounds impossible if you're starting from zero, or worse, if you're starting from debt, but let me break it down. Step 1. Find the gap. Look at your income and expenses. Is there any gap at all, even $100 a month? That's your starting point. If there's no gap, you need to either cut expenses or increase income. There's no magic trick. Step 2. Automate savings. The day you get paid, money should automatically move to savings before you see it, before you can spend it. $50, $100, whatever you can manage. Step 3. Treat it like a bill. Your savings contribution isn't optional. It's not what's left over. It's a bill you pay yourself first, as mandatory as rent. Step 4. Use windfalls wisely. Tax refund, bonus, gift money. That goes to the $10,000 goal, not to a new thing, not to a trip, to the goal. Step 5. Cut one thing that doesn't matter. You have at least one subscription or expense you don't really care about. Find it, cut it, redirect that money. Let's get real for a second. If you can save $400 a month, that's $4,800 a year. In just over 2 years, you're at $10,000. Sounds slow, I know, but those 2 years are going to pass anyway. You can arrive at 34 with $10,000 in the bank, or you can arrive at 34 exactly where you are now. And here's the thing, once you start, the momentum builds. You get obsessed with watching that number grow. You find more ways to save. You get a raise and actually keep it instead of inflating your lifestyle. Most people who commit to this hit $10,000 faster than they expected. And once you're there, everything changes. The stress drops. The options multiply. The bank stops making money on you. You go from being a product to being a customer, from being exploited to being served. Let's talk about the psychology of money for a minute. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, your brain is in constant fight or flight mode. Every bill, every unexpected expense, every low balance notification triggers anxiety. You're always reacting, never planning. But when you have $10,000, your brain shifts gears. You start thinking about the future, about opportunities, about growth. You can finally breathe. That's not just a financial shift, it's a mental health shift. Here's a story about a woman named Lisa. She was a single mom, working 2 jobs, always stressed about money. She started saving $50 a week, even when it felt impossible. It took her 4 years, but when she hit $10,000, she said it was the first time in her life she felt safe. Not rich, safe. She started sleeping better, making better decisions, and even got a better job because she wasn't desperate anymore. That's the power of this milestone. Now, let's talk about emergencies because they're going to happen. The car will break down, the water heater will explode, someone will get sick. When you have $10,000, these things are stressful, but they're not disasters. You just write the check, fix the problem, and move on. No debt, no panic, no spiral. You become resilient, you become unshakable. But here's the part most people miss. $10,000 isn't the finish line, it's the starting line. It's the point where you stop playing defense and start playing offense. You can start investing, building wealth, and making your money work for you. You can take risks, try new things, and build the life you actually want. The banks fear this because it means you're no longer dependent on them. You're independent. Let's get tactical. If you're struggling to save, start with micro savings. Every time you get paid, round down your checking account and move the spare change to savings. Use apps that automate savings for you. Sell something you don't use every month and put the money in your emergency fund. Every little bit counts. The goal is progress, not perfection. Here's a mindset shift. Before you buy anything big, ask yourself, will this purchase make me richer or poorer? If it's an asset, something that grows in value or pays you back, it's worth considering. If it's a liability, something that loses value or costs you money, think twice. The rich are always looking for ways to turn liabilities into assets, or at least to let their assets pay for their liabilities. Let's talk about negotiation. The wealthy rarely pay full price. They negotiate everything, from real estate deals to business partnerships to everyday purchases. They know that every dollar saved is a dollar that can be invested. The next time you're making a big purchase, don't be afraid to ask for a better price, extra perks, or more favorable terms. Even a small discount can add up over time, especially if you invest the difference. Another powerful tool the rich use is insurance, not just for protection, but as a financial strategy. They insure their assets, their businesses, even their income. This way, if something goes wrong, they don't have to sell investments or go into debt. Insurance acts as a safety net, allowing their money to keep working, uninterrupted. If you're building wealth, make sure you're protecting it too. Sometimes, the best way to buy peace of mind is to plan for the unexpected. Let's talk about giving back. Many wealthy people use their assets to fund charitable giving. They set up donor-advised funds, give appreciated stock instead of cash, or create foundations that support causes they care about. By giving from their investments, they can often give more and get tax benefits too. Generosity is a form of wealth that grows the more you share it. Sometimes, the best way to buy something is to create value for others first. The rich are always looking for ways to solve problems, fill gaps, or offer something unique. Maybe it's starting a service, inventing a product, or teaching a skill. The money they earn from creating value becomes the fuel for their next purchase. If you want to buy something big, ask yourself, how can I help someone else get what they want so I can get what I want too? Let's not forget about education. The rich invest in learning, books, courses, mentors, because they know knowledge pays the best dividends. Before making a big purchase, they'll often spend time learning about the asset, the market, or the strategy. That way, they make smarter decisions and avoid costly mistakes. If you want to buy something big, invest in learning about it first. Here's a tip for anyone with kids. Teach them to think like investors, not just consumers. When my niece wanted a new bike, I challenged her to start a lemonade stand. She saved her profits, bought the bike, and realized she could keep earning money even after she got what she wanted. That lesson will serve her for life. Let's talk about partnerships. The wealthy rarely go it alone. They pool resources with friends, family, or business partners to buy bigger assets, like apartment buildings, businesses, or land. By sharing the risk and the reward, they can access opportunities that would be out of reach alone. If you have a trusted circle, consider teaming up to invest in something bigger than you could on your own. There's another angle the wealthy use that's often overlooked: timing. The rich are patient. They don't rush into purchases just because they can. Instead, they wait for the right opportunity. Maybe a market dip, a motivated seller, or a business that needs a partner. By waiting for the right moment, they often get what they want for less or with better terms. It's not about being cheap. It's about being strategic. The next time you're tempted to buy something big, ask yourself, is this the right time? Or can I let my money grow a little longer while I wait for a better deal? Let's talk about mindset, because this is where everything starts. The rich don't see money as something to be spent. They see it as a tool, a resource, a way to create more options. Every dollar is a seed that can grow into something bigger. When you start thinking this way, you'll find yourself asking new questions. Instead of, can I afford this? You'll start asking, how can I get my money to afford this for me? That shift alone can change your entire financial future. Here's a story about a woman named Priya who wanted to travel the world. Instead of saving up and quitting her job, she started a travel blog and built an audience. She partnered with brands, earned affiliate income, and used her blog profits to fund her trips. Not only did she see the world, but she built a business that kept paying her long after she came home. Priya didn't just buy plane tickets. She bought freedom, and she did it by making her money work for her. Have you ever noticed how the rich rarely seem to stress about emergencies? That's because they have multiple streams of income, rental properties, dividends, side businesses, that act as a safety net. If one stream dries up, the others keep flowing. You can start building your own safety net by adding just one new income stream this year, no matter how small. Finally, remember that the journey to wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. The rich didn't build their fortunes overnight. They made smart decisions, took calculated risks, and let time do the heavy lifting. Every step you take, every dollar you invest, every asset you buy, every skill you learn, brings you closer to a life where your money works for you. So be patient, stay curious, and keep moving forward. The best time to start is now, and your future self will thank you for every smart move you make today. Let's wrap up with a challenge. This week, pick one thing you want to buy in the next year. Instead of saving up and spending the cash, brainstorm 3 ways to create an income stream that could pay for it. Maybe it's a side hustle, a small investment, or teaming up with a friend. The first time you buy something with money you didn't have to work for, you'll never want to go back. And remember, the real secret isn't about being born rich or getting lucky. It's about making your money work for you every single day. The rich aren't just spending. They're strategizing, investing, and building a life where their assets pay for their dreams. You can do the same, starting right now. So let's recap. The rich buy things without ever really paying for them by putting their money to work, using smart leverage, buying assets that pay them back, and understanding the tax game. You don't need millions to start thinking this way. Every dollar you invest is a step toward financial freedom. What's one thing you want to buy in the next year, and how could you get your money to pay for it instead of just spending it? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas and cheer you on. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe and join the She Invests community. We're building wealth together, one smart move at a time. Your future self is already proud of you. Let's start making your money work for you, not the other way around.